first thing I'm going to do is cut all my base strings. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 of them. So I'm going to use this like dark greenish bluish color. And since this pattern is only 17 rows, it doesn't have to be too long. But I'll probably make mine like that long. I mean, it's probably longer than I'll need. Like the pattern won't be that long. But I just want to make sure they're long enough so that I have enough. And so I fold that in half. And so this is going to be 2 of the base strings. So this is going to go on the keychain like this. So that's 2 of them. So I'm going to make 6 of these that are the same length as this to equal 12 of them. So now I have my 6 base strings and I'm going to put it on this keychain. So to put it on there, I will take one of these and then fold it in half. So just line up these 2 ends. And then you'll take this side that has the loop and then you'll take it and put it through here. So it's like this. And then you take this other end, which has like the open, 2 open, you put it through the loop, and then you just pull it. And so then it's like attached on there with these 2 strings. And then I'm gonna do that for every single one of these base strings. That was my last string, so I have them all lined up, and now I like to make my keychains off of my clipboard, so I just will tape this down onto my desk and then I clip this onto here. So I'm going to get some tape and do that real quick. Now I have my cool little galaxy tape, so I'm going to tape this down on these edges so my clipboard doesn't move, so it's easier to see what I'm doing. There we go. The first line of this pattern is just the background color all the way across. So my background color is going to be this light pink. It is number 963 DMC, so if you want to use that one, that's the color code. And some people like to not cut it and just put this through. I personally like to have just like the string by itself, you know. So I'm just going to take out, I don't know how much, just like a little pile, because you can always add more with alphas. So I'm just going to take some of that out. That should be good for now. So I'm going to start with this pink, and I'm going to take a piece of tape, just like a small piece, and then find one end of it, put the tape on that end like that. And I'm going to tape it on this edge. So this is where we're going to be adding our first string. So it is pretty much like a regular knot, but since we're adding it on, we're using these strings as the base strings. So I'm just going to take the one on the far left and then just take this and do a knot right onto it. This one's kind of tricky because it's the first one, so like you can be loose a little bit on the first and then just tighten it up a little bit on the second. So it's still going to be kind of loose, but we're going all the way across. So now we go to the next base string and do another knot. And usually once you get the second one in, your string is like pretty well attached. So I'll do one more. And now I can just take this tape off. You can leave it on if you'd like. I'll just take that off, put it over here. And I'll use this again for when I add my other strings. And so now I'm just going to go all the way across the top row. I have now gone across the whole row except for this last one. And so for this one, I'm going to do a forward knot. And then for the first part, and then for the second part, I'm going to do a backward knot. And this will keep the edges a lot more even, so that is one knot. And now to start the next row, I'm going to do another forward backward. So this just keeps the edges a lot more straight. And you can do it just regular forward and then a regular backward starting the next row, but I suggest doing this. And so now we already did the first knot of this next row. So I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4 more, and then I'll show you how to add in the next color. That was the 5th knot, so I'm just going to take this pink string and just pull it up over the top so that it's out of the way. Now the next color I have on my pattern is the darker of the two greens, so I am using this one for the darker and then this one for the lighter. So I'm going to pull out some of my darker colored thread. And then I'm going to take the same tape that I used from before and tape that at the top. And then I'm going to put it under so it's like close to where I'm going to be pulling it in. So I'm going to make sure that I don't use any of the base strings I used before, so like the next one in line. And I'm just going to take it and make a backward knot right there. And I'm not going to pull it up like all the way, probably pull it to like there. And then do the other half of the knot. And then you can pull it all the way up, and that is your knot. Now I'm going to add, that's the only color, or the only knot, sorry, we're doing with that color for now. So we're going to add the lighter color right there. So it's just exactly the same thing. Since I have less knots with this color, I made the string a little bit shorter. So you can do that if you would like. And I'm just going to take this tape off, this one very gently so that knot doesn't come out. And then I'm going to take this next one down and then do that knot. So another thing, I will take my green and then pull that under alongside the pink so that it's out of the way. So I'll just pull that all the way through. And so the next base string is this one, and I'm going to take this and do a backward knot onto it. So now I have the top part of the cactus started. So I'm going to pull out this green again, and then I'm going to pull back in the pink to do the other 5 knots on the other side of this. So you can see from behind that the pink is from over here, but it's just going to go behind, and so once you do it, it will just go behind, and you can see that once you finish a pattern. So on alphas, like this boat one that I made, you can see the blue crossing across from the back, but when you look at the front you can't see that, so it will be fine that it crosses around the back. So this is the same thing as the other side, so I'm going to do a backward knot right on this one, then a forward to keep the edges more straight. So that will be the ending knot of the second row, and then this one will be the beginning knot of the third row. So that is the first knot of the third row, and on the third row, I'll show you, I'm going to do 4 knots right here. So I already have 1 done, so I'm going to do 2 more. So that is the 4th knot, so I'm going to take this pink and then pull it under again. And then the next knot I will do is a dark green, so I'm going to take this one and pull it through and under. You might have to go around some of these other strings, but hopefully it doesn't get too twisted for you. So now I'm going to do 3 knots with the dark green string. I now did the 3 dark green knots, so I'm going to put that one back over here and pull down the light green to do 1 knot. Now I'll do 1 pink knot, and then I will go back and do 2 dark green knots after this one. Now I will put these green knots back up here, or these green strings, and I will take the pink and then bring that all the way over to the edge to do the edge knot, which will be a forward backward. So I'll just pull this one over under these all the way to this edge one, and I can just pull that way and do a forward backward. Now to start the next row, we will do another forward backward. On my pattern, I now have a light green, dark green, pink, and then 4 dark greens, and then 4 pinks. So I'm going to do all of those right now. That is the end of the 4th row. For the 5th row, we're going to start the other side of the cactus. So it will be a pink, then a light green, pink, dark green, light green, and then 5 dark greens, and then a pink. So I'm going to do that real quick, and then I'll go back to show you the 6th row. Now I'm on the 7th row, so I have a pink, dark green, light green, 3 dark greens, light green, dark green, and then 4 pinks. So I'll do that, and then I will show you what to do for the 8th row. That is the end of the 7th row. So now the 8th row, you also do 4 pinks right here, and then it is just 5 dark greens and then 2 pinks. So it's pretty simple, only 2 colors in this row. The next 3 rows are basically the same, kind of. So we have 4 pinks on either side, and then in the middle there will be like lighter greens and darker greens, but for this first one, I have light green, then 3 darks. So that will be 1 row all the way across, then I'll do 4 more pinks, then a light green, 3 darks again, then 4 more pinks. Then I'll come back over here, do 4 pinks again, and then dark green, light green, 2 dark greens, and then 4 more pinks, and then the greens will just be done. So you can just cut those out after you're done. I'm now at the end of the cactus part, so I will start with my brown on the pot here. So since we're not using the green anymore, like there's no more green in this half of the pattern, you could just cut these off, or I'm probably just gonna put them like up over the top here. But now I will go and get my green string and cut a small bit of that, and then I will put that string in, and then I'll show you what to do for the next part of the pattern. This is the same thing as before. I'm going to take this piece of tape that I used, and this time we are putting it in on the right side because the arrows are going this way. So we'll start over here, and I'm just going to tape it behind, and I'm actually not going to put it in yet because I have 2 pink knots that I have to do right here first. So I'm going to do those, and then I will put the knot in. Now that I finished my 2 pink knots, I'm going to put in this brown. I'm just going to move it over a little bit, get my next base string out, and then just do the knot right in here. I like to hold these other strings in my other hand right here so that I can just keep them straight and out of the way kind of. And then I just like pull it up there gently and then do it again once more. And that's my knot. Just take that off, put that over there. And I just did 3 knots with this brown already, so I'm already right here. So now I'm going to do 5 more, so I should have 2 bass strings left over. So sometimes what you could do is just take 2 bass strings off the edge and then just put those over, so you know that once you like get to this like open space to stop using the brown and you have to switch colors. So that's just a tip that you could use if you have trouble going over the amount or whatever you need, but I'm going to do 5 more. I'm now at the edge and I have these 2 left over, so I'm going to do 2 pink knots. And I'm just going to take this pink, pull it under all of my other bass strings, and then just do the knots. For the next row, it's the exact same as the last one, so I'll do 2 pink knots on the side, then there will be 8, I think, yes, 8 brown knots for the top part of the pot, and then 2 more pinks on the edge. And then it's the same for row 14 too, so I'll show you the pattern. Right now I'm right here, so I'm going to do these across here, and then those 2, and then back this way. And then in this row I'll do 3 this time, then 6, 3, and then 4, 4, 4, and then 1 more row of just the pink. And that is the end of this keychain. So now I'm going to take it off and cut off all the little extra strings at the back because there's a lot of them, so I'm going to do that. Now I have all the extra strings cut off, and now I just have my bass strings left over. So what I normally do, you can do whatever you would like with the end, but I just like to take it and then just cut it along this bottom edge and just leave a little bit, kind of like a little fringe thing at the bottom. That's just what I do most of the time, and then make sure it's like even, I guess. So that's basically it, and you don't have to do this if you don't want to, but sometimes I put clear nail polish at the back of my keychains so none of the extra strings like come off or undo. I don't think I'm going to do it on this one because none of them are really poking out that much, but it's a nice thing if they keep coming undone. So thank you for watching this video. Please comment down below any questions or any video ideas you have or you'd like to see. Subscribe and like this video. Thanks, bye!